Are you a wholesaler wondering how you can build your cash buyers list? Well, keep watching and I'll share with you 10 different ways that are very effective and how you can implement them to build your cash buyers list. Hey, it's Dara, real estate investor and entrepreneur out of Atlanta, Georgia. And as you saw, I'm going to dive right into the 10 different ways that you can start today and build your cash buyers list. The first way, and my very favorite, the most effective way that I've seen in my own experience to find true cash buyers is to just drive the area. You know, when you go looking for distressed properties and you're driving for dollars, well, I call it driving for buyers. You're just driving around the area looking for the telltale signs of a rehab project. And those things would include temporary electrical poles or the white permit boxes or a dumpster. And these are things that tell you that this is an active rehab site. So what you could do is you can write down the address and go home and skip trace those owners. Or if you're lucky and you're driving around and there are people working, you just stop right in, talk to those people, and they're typically going to be the contractors, which brings me to tip number 2. Tip number 2 to finding or building your cash buyers list is to talk to contractors. So again, you drive around the area, hopefully there's somebody working on the project that you're going to stop at, and you talk to them. You say, hey, do you own this property, or do you know who owns this property? Typically, if they're not a subcontractor, if they are the general contractor, they will know who owns it. They're like, yeah, I work for the guy who owns it, or the woman who owns it. And you're like, hey, well, you can position yourself in a lot of different ways. You can say, hey, well, I have a property just like this one that I'm looking to sell, so do you mind sharing their information with me? Or you could interact with a contractor to get their business and say, hey, well, do you do a lot of jobs like this for just them, or would you be interested in working for someone like me as well who does some renovations? You get their contact information and you can position yourself that way in order for them to feel a little bit more comfortable giving you the homeowner's information. Because some contractors, you'll find either there's a language barrier, here at least where I live, or they are a little finicky about sharing the homeowner's information. No worries though, because like I said in tip number 1, if you drive around and see the permit box, you are more than welcome to open it up, and in there you'll see a lot of different paperwork. You'll see the permits, and sometimes if you're lucky, it'll have the homeowner's information, including their cell phone number. So way number 3 is to go to the auction. That is another very effective, surefire way to find true cash buyers, because in order for someone to bid at the courthouse steps, whether it's the foreclosure auction or the tax lien sales, they have to have cash, period. So right then and there, they have their cashier's check in order to bid on a property in the hopes of buying it. So you just go every first Tuesday of the month here in Georgia, and you bring either your business cards or you bring a little notepad or something where you can collect their information. It's very important that you not only give out your information, but you receive their information, their name and their phone number. If you can hold a conversation with them right then and there, that's perfect, so you can kind of get their criteria. Of course, if you're at a specific county, then you can almost bet that they buy in that county. So there's that. But yeah, make sure you get their information and a little bit of their criteria, and follow up. That's another great way at the courthouse steps to find hedge fund buyers. And hedge funds have tons and tons and tons and tons of cash, and they're there to buy up multiple properties. So make sure you go out to the courthouse steps. Again, here in Georgia, it's the first Tuesday of every month. I can't really say for any other state or any other area because I'm not sure, but definitely look it up and you can find out when your foreclosure auction is being held. The next very effective way to find cash buyers is to go to the courthouse and look through the eviction records. Instead of going to scour the eviction list to say, hey, do you want to sell your house? I go and call them like, hey, you're obviously a landlord. Are you interested in purchasing more rental properties? So you go to the courthouse and spend some hours there to collect a lot of different leads for evictions. And then you start calling them, and then, hey, you ask them, you position yourself as someone who finds discounted properties, and you sell it to them, and you just let them know, hey, I'd love to do business with you. And that's a great way to find your landlord cash buyers, which is typically a little bit harder, I would say, for most people and most wholesalers, or speaking from my own experience, because a lot of cash buyers are fix and flip investors. So the best way, I think, to find your rental or your landlord investors is to go to the courthouse and scour those eviction records. The next very effective way to find your cash buyers is to make bandit signs. You want to make signs that say investor special, handyman special, call my number, or fixer upper for sale, or fixer upper for cheap. And those are extremely effective, in my opinion, in my experience, for finding cash buyers. So it's just all about how you phrase your marketing. Again, like I said, investor special, handyman special, kind of the same things that you would put on a Craigslist ad, which leads me to my next way to find cash buyers. You want to put ads out on Craigslist. Whether you have a property for sale or not, you can simply say, hey, cash buyers wanted, investors wanted, what other kind of ways, handyman special, and things like that, and it'll get the attraction of a lot of cash buyers. And you can just, hey, simply tell them that you're looking to build your cash buyers list, and then that's when you vet them to find out what it is that they want. You don't have to have a property right then and there. You just simply are finding ways to build your cash buyers list. So you're posting on Craigslist. Sometimes you can post ghost ads, which work, and they're pretty effective as well. Or you can just be straight up and honest, like, hey, I'm trying to build my cash buyers list. Or we're a wholesaling company that does, whatever you want to say, kind of volume a month. If you want to be added to our VIP buyers list, then contact me at this way. It's all about marketing. So you just want to get your phone ringing. You just want to get people on your list so that when you do get a property, it's a lot easier for you to get it sold. The next way to build your cash buyers list is to use social media. Now, I'm a great advocate for Instagram. I can't say too much for any other forms of social media, I guess, besides Facebook, because Facebook, there's tons and tons and tons of groups for you to join to post your properties and sell to investors. But regarding Instagram, you can hashtag, and those are very effective. You can hashtag specific things to make sure that you're getting traffic to your posts, and you get your cash buyers' eyes on your posts. Or you can simply do your own hashtag searches and see who else is using those hashtags, and you start following them, you start DMing them, and I would meet them at their project, get to know them face to face, and then kind of build a relationship there. The next way that's pretty effective to build your cash buyers list is to just go out and meet people at the RIA meetings. And here in Atlanta, there's so many different meetings and meetups for real estate investors and wholesalers and cash buyers. They're pretty much multiple times every single day. So pick and choose and start building your cash buyers list that way. Again, it's similar to the approach that you take at the courthouse steps. Whether you have business cards, you pass them out to the people, but it's most important for you to receive their information. And if they don't have business cards, you just take your notepad or however you want to get their information, put it in your phone. But always make sure that you put something to specify who they are and where you know them from. So going to RIA meetings is a very effective way to build your cash buyers list. However, I will say, beware that, some people are not true cash buyers. So I would say it's very effective to go in after the meeting, talk to the people who are hosting it and who are running the meeting, and then just introduce yourself to them. I'd go to the host, introduce myself, and then ask them for their references and referrals. Like, hey, I love this meeting, great meeting, but I'm just getting started. I really want to build my cash buyers list. Who here in this room are really doing deals? Who here are really buying, fixing and flipping, or whatever? Who can you point me out to? And then, hopefully from there, they'll point you in the right direction. The next way is to interact with realtors. Realtors are a great source for investor clients and cash buyers. Of course, they work off of commission, so it'd be in your best interest to either offer to pay them 3% commission or a flat fee for bringing you a buyer. So again, reach out to realtors, use the MLS, use Zillow or other sites that have properties posted for sale. or pending. And that's what I do. I go through the MLS, look for pending properties, or those that are for sale, newly renovated. Why? Because if they're newly renovated, I'm going to assume that an investor did it. So I'd call the realtor and again introduce myself. Hey, I see that you have this listing. It's a beautiful home that was newly renovated. Let me ask you, was that an investor who did it? Then you get to know, okay, well, do you have more investor clients, or do you think that this client of yours will be interested in more discounted properties that they can flip and sell for profit? And then you go from there and add that realtor to your cash buyers list because they represent cash buyers. And then the final way to build your cash buyers list is to call the numbers on those We Buy Houses signs. I want to say 9 times out of 10, they're going to be wholesalers. And then the 1 time out of 10, they may be cash buyers putting out their own marketing for their own deals because they may not want to go through wholesalers. But no matter who it is, you want to call them. And even if they are a wholesaler, that's still a great way to joint venture with someone. So if they're a wholesaler who's really out there doing it, then they probably already have a pre-established or an established cash buyers list. So it's great to be like, hey wholesaler, I'm a wholesaler too. Would you be interested in joint venturing with me on some deals? Like I said, that's a great way to build your cash buyers list indirectly because that wholesaler may have their own tried and true cash buyers list. Now, they're not going to say, hey, here are all my buyers, but they will, like I said, joint venture with you, co-wholesale, whatever you call it. And that's a great way to get deals done. That's probably a pretty easy way to get deals done. So again, just to recap, the 10 ways to build your cash buyers list starting today, right now, if you just put in the work, are as follows. The first way is to drive for buyers. I can't stress how effective that is. You just want to be out and active because sitting behind the computer all day can only get you so far. So get out there and drive around for those buyers. Next, you want to talk to contractors. Contractors are a great source to refer you to investor and cash buyers. Next, you want to go to the auction because that's very effective, and people who are bidding on properties at the auction are only cash buyers. Only cash buyers can bid at the auction. Next, you want to look up the public records, the courthouse records for eviction leads. Those are people who have recently filed for eviction, and they are typically landlords and investors, and you can reach out to them to sell your rental properties. Next, you want to put out your own bandit signs that are fishing for cash buyers. They say things like handyman special, investor special, things like that. Next, you want to use Craigslist ads because those are very effective as well. Social media is the next way, and it's very, very effective, making sure that you use hashtags as well as search hashtags that are effective. Maybe Atlanta real estate or real estate investor or fix and flip, things like that on Instagram are very likely to get you to a cash buyer. Going out to RIA meetings, that's another great way to get your face out there and get your eyes out there on people who are actually doing fix and flips. Again, I always like to meet people at their sites just to make sure that they are tried and true. You can also do behind the scenes research as far as getting an address and seeing if they actually own it. The next way is to make friends with realtors. Realtors are a great source for investor clients and cash buyers. So you want to make sure you build relationships with realtors. And lastly, last but not least, calling those We Buy Houses signs to potentially joint venture with other wholesalers, or they could be cash buyers. That's very less likely for it to be a cash buyer rather than a wholesaler, but it's still a great way to build your cash buyers list. So I hope these 10 ways are helpful for you to get started today building your cash buyers list. And people ask me all the time, should I wait to build a cash buyers list once I get a property or what? And I always say no. It's great to build your cash buyers list simultaneously while you're marketing out for leads and sending yellow letters or whatever you are doing to get your homeowner leads. I think that at the same time you should be building your cash buyers list because you just want to be ready. You always want to be ready. Time is money, and the quicker you have a list of cash buyers, the quicker you can get a property sold. So if you like this video, if it's helped you out, if you are going to do any of these 10 tips, which I advise you to do, leave a comment below, thumbs up this video, and subscribe to my channel. Make sure you share this video as well because it's very helpful for you and your other wholesaler friends to have this information from me. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.